CM Punk is officially missing WrestleMania. He confirms in his promo tonight that he has a torn tricep and will not be available for WrestleMania. What does that mean now? Welcome to another episode on Faz Wrestling, where we are going to discuss tonight's Monday Night Raw on the 29th of January. I am joined once again by my wonderful co-host Pete. So welcome, Pete. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Here, which quick pop quiz question for you? Which tricep was it?
His right tricep.
Was it? I thought it was his left.
No, it's his right tricep.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, you're right. Well, I got my own pop question wrong. There we go. Good start. Great start to the evening. Can't wait. Let's see how this unfolds.
All right, thanks guys for joining us on this podcast today.
Call it a day.
We've absolutely started there with a bang where you tried to trump me and it failed. What you've got to remember is I have finished watching this Raw all of 10 minutes ago. So it is very, very fresh in the mind.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so CM Punk opened up. Well, I tell a lie, actually. The opening was Pat McAfee.
Big Pat
McAfee.
Big Pat.
Music hit. No one cared.
I was going to say, whenever I say, it just reminds me of Big Pat Lampard. So I always do it. Pat Lampard.
The one. Yeah, so Pat McAfee's music hit, and I think everyone, normally, start a Raw, you want something big to happen to get everybody really buzzing excited for it.
And it happened.
It did not. I beg to differ. I mean, no one cared. It was just silence. But although I must admit, I do think it was very quiet because people were like, why is Pat McAfee opening Raw? Like, no one really knew what was going on until obviously he goes to the commentary table. So they then confirmed that Pat McAfee is going to be with Michael Cole for the foreseeable for the commentary team on Raw. So how do you feel about that?
I love Pat McAfee.
Yeah. So that's just great news for you then, basically.
Oh, I love it. Because he can't act. He's just himself, which I think is because he's a massive, massive fan. Do you know him and do you know this about him and Baron Corbin?
I do know there is. I know there's a connection, but go on.
They played football together, so they lived together for a very long time.
What a bizarre pairing, by the way.
Fun.
What a bizarre pairing.
Yeah. But McAfee is he's fun. I think he's fun. Him and I love any reason to hear not Adam Cole.
Baby!
Sorry about that. Any reason to hear Michael Cole get, not this guy, and just get all Michael Cole curmudgeon about it. It's just awesome because it reminds me of when JR was the curmudgeon with Michael Cole, and it was just even though because they want Pat McAfee to be the face, they do because he's jolly, he's funny, he's the clown of it all.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm happy to answer your question. How do you feel, Kieran? Because you don't sound too happy about it.
No, but do you know what? I made it quite clear on the last one that I'm very on the fence with McAfee. Kind of do my head in, or I can enjoy him. So I am but I'm more disappointed that they've got rid of Barrett because I really enjoyed Barrett and Cole's work on commentary. So I know that Kevin Patrick is no longer part of the commentary team because he was awful. I don't know how many times.
Is he still part of the company, Kevin Patrick?
I don't know if he's part of the company, but I know that he's definitely been removed from the commentary. So, I mean, obviously SmackDown was Graves and Cole on Friday. So I'm hoping they'll put Graves and Barrett. But then I kind of feel that's like two heel guys.
Yeah.
I would rather them have one of McAfee and Cole on SmackDown, and then so they've still got that kind of face heel tangent. Whereas Graves and Barrett, unless Barrett's going to go full face now as a commentator, but I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go.
It's been that way forever though. You need face and you need heel on commentary. It's always been the way it's always been. So it was Jay. I'm kind of going through the years very, very quickly here, and I'm missing a few people, but it was like JR and the King, Jerry Lawler. Face and heel, and then 20 years later they'd switched, and I'm going. I don't know if you remember Vince McMahon being on commentary before he was Vince McMahon the boss, when they had Gorilla and stuff like that. But
yeah,
they had Then after that, 20 years later, 2009-ish, the King was the face, and then Cole was the heel for years.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I can
now
remember that.
Now Cole's so it's always the older person is the heel, but Cole's more recent times has been the face. So,
Yeah.
and there's no one older than him, and obviously Barrett was the heel. I like Barrett. I'm not going to besmirch anything that Barrett was really good in commentary.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Well,
but what?
no, I said go on. I cut you off.
Obviously, but no, I was just saying. I mean, Pat McAfee, innit?
Yeah. No, I can get it. I can. You know what I mean. I can
I don't
totally
think it
see
was
why
right.
McAfee is so popular. I can. I'm totally on board with that. It's just a personal opinion for me. I'm just not a big fan of him. But
Yeah.
that's just like I said. It's just for Barrett really. But I'm hoping he's involved somewhere. You know, between Raw and SmackDown. But I suppose wait till Friday. He could be there, and I'm all right with it. But yeah. So they had that announced that CM Punk music hit. Punk comes out, and I quite enjoyed his music hit, and crowd cheers, crowd pops, and he walked round walked through the curtain onto the stage, and you could hear everyone going, "Ooh," like there was that kind of groan, and everyone like, "Oh shit," because there were reports coming that he did pick up an injury from the Rumble, but nothing was confirmed. He comes out like that, everyone's like, "Oh no, here we are. We're in a bit of a pickle here."
Here's my thing. People don't think this is a work because he genuinely seemed to like be upset and cry, and I don't know. I think it still could be a bit of a work because again, why would if it was that bad, why would they have Drew do that bit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like and then he said mate and he kept saying, he said once maybe WrestleMania 4 is not on the cards for me. Maybe it's just something that I will always miss. It's going to be something that I never achieved. All this, but it's always that maybe.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah.
I just don't buy. It's like I don't buy. If Cody, I'm not saying Cody's one of a kind, and obviously that torn torn bicep was insane, and his match against Seth was insane, and the fact that he managed to do it all was insane. But who's to say that Punk can't do the same thing?
Yeah, I totally agree. I literally just put a few notes down to run down what his promo consisted of, and it was literally explaining his injury. He then, like you mentioned there, he kind of went on this with this emotional story of a friend of his who's suffering from cancer and stuff like that, you could see him welling up, like there was raw emotion there, so that's not a work, that's coming from the heart sort of thing, which I liked. I liked seeing that sort of side from Punk.
He had to ask the guy before, and surely you'd think it's like
you would assume so.
You've got to ask the guy before you mention him and say that I sit there with you through chemo, and it's like you've got to text him beforehand at least. Just say shout out. Like
oh, you would assume so, but yeah, it was.
Imagine if the guy's parents didn't know.
Yeah, I know. Imagine. Surprise.
Fans.
Honestly, but yeah, like he come out with that, and then obviously I agree with you again. He didn't say I will not be there. It was maybe. I think one part he comes out, he literally says like, I probably won't make it to this year's WrestleMania. Probably being the operative, like the key word there. You know what I mean? And it's like it is. I was sat there and I was watching it, and I'm thinking, is this a work? Is he just absolutely? Because in this era of wrestling, that is very much something they do. They will sell you something so hard to make you believe it, and then you're like, right, that's going to happen. And then there's
it's all about the pop. It's all about the pop.
I think if I was going to put it on a scale, I'd say 80% injured, not going to make it. 20% he might. Same with Cena at that Rumble when he famously come in at 30. And literally had, walked in, music hits, arms crossed, head down, looks up. He was meant to be out for like 6 months or something. He came back in 2. Something outrageous like that. Like, everything's possible. You just never know. But yeah, I mean, I also put down just saying Punk and promos are just incredible. Like, there is not many that can hit that and deliver promos like that.
It's not that. It's just that he talks to the crowd. Now that he's on this, I mean, he used to be so good at promos as even as a heel. But it's like whatever you give them. I think when he in that promo he said, "You guys seem to like me now," and it's just all
Yeah.
like, and it's like, yeah, I don't. No one knows.
Yeah.
Like no one gets it. It's not just because of the pipe bomb. Even before the pipe bomb, when he was a heel, his whole work with Rey Mysterio, he was loved because he's a very interesting guy. He's just good on the mic.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. That's why. Why do you think LA Knight pops so much? Because he's good on the mic.
Yeah. I think that's half the battle in wrestling. I think if you can deliver a promo, you could be convincing a promo, you can get the crowd on board and all that. I think you're almost halfway there. Obviously, the majority is having the raw talent of being able to do what you do. But I think promos are so massive in today's wrestling, especially. I also really loved the little bit where I can't remember it word for word, but he referenced him losing in UFC. That's what it was. He said,
brilliant. It's like,
because I call myself the best in the world doesn't mean I always win. Just look at my UFC career. And it's like, the guy self-burns. And it's still just, it popped like, I sit and think, does he rehearse these lines or does he just come out with them on the cuff? Because he's that good. I could see him doing that.
He writes, you can tell he writes, because do you know what was funny about that? After spending, again, you can relate to this, working years in a comedy club, it's so weird to watching wrestling. It was laughter. And like, you don't really get laughter. You get laughter at bits that happen physically, like physical attacks and stuff like that. Like, or Santino Morello coming in a skirt and coming into the Women's Royal Rumble and getting knocked straight out. It's like, okay, kind of funny. But to have laughing at a lot, just literally one person in the ring on a promo, not slagging someone off, not The Rock and Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal, I've done it again.
I heard you say that then.
Twice in 3 weeks now, that mate. Jinder Mahal.
Love that. Go on.
But he wrote that like a comic writes a line, and he wrote it, and he got a laugh in a stadium during a WWE match, like. It was bizarre because people, it was like proper, it killed. Yeah. In comedy parlance, it killed. It was just like, yeah, he sucked at UFC. But yeah, I love you, go on, man. It was just weird.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. And I love that because that's very much a CM Punk thing to do, of just having those little, every promo he does, he has a little dig or a little something there that just puts him that little bit above everyone else.
Yeah.
But obviously, as he's saying all these things, McIntyre's music hits. So Drew comes out.
So the swords hit. That's what I always the swords.
Yeah. I don't really like the swords. I liked it when his first one, when literally you just heard the bagpipes blaring, and it was like a war, not a war cry. Could you call it a war cry? Like those bagpipes hit, and then you had the and I was like, that's fucking unbelievable.
Just being someone like me and you for our generation, you kind of automatically like go Braveheart with that, and you go, well, yeah, and that's when he was a face, and it worked because you automatically think, oh, William Wallace, Braveheart, the Scottish people. Obviously, you know that you're half
Scottish.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was going to use the R word.
Yeah, I knew you were going to come up with something. That's why I just cut you off instantly.
But yeah, no, but the obviously it's a heel turn, so it's the swords. So you want to think of violence more than you want to think of like the bagpipes. Oh, the Scottish people, fucking all of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's had them whilst being face, so I wouldn't necessarily associate that with a heel turn. But he's had that for a while.
Well, okay, fair enough. I'll eat my own words again. Maybe it wasn't the left bicep, tricep. Damn it.
There you go. Maybe it wasn't after all, because I don't think it was. It's been a long day, man. Don't worry.
Well, yeah, no, he's doing some. Considering he's been a face for a while. Do you remember when? I don't know if you were there or not. Have you not met Drew McIntyre?
I've not met Drew McIntyre. No.
We met Drew McIntyre back when he was me and I think Cheating was there.
It'd have been you and Cheats at Frog, wouldn't it?
But he was proper skinny. He was tiny. He was a high flyer, and really nice guy, proper nice guy. But the Frog and Bucket. I don't know where I was going with that. I think it was just a name drop.
just a little call to fame that I've actually met Drew McIntyre. Were you there, Kieran? No, I didn't think you were.
you not met one of your? No, it's not.
Have you met William Regal? No, I didn't think you did. I know someone else who has though. Oh, but yeah, Drew comes out and it's like he's been.
I'm sorry, I just realised what I was going to say. This was back when he was kind of a heel, when he was first coming up, when he was really skinny and he was tiny, and he was never a face. He wasn't. He was neither nor. He was like, it's back when Vinny was in charge. So it's like he was. I mean,
it was
this
the
is
chosen
way
one,
back
weren't
then.
it? Weren't that his gimmick? It was literally dubbed as the chosen one, and he had
but
Broken
always
Dreams as his
mid-card,
theme. He had a push. He had a big push, and then he slowly started dropping down to the mid card. But he definitely had that big push at the start because he was literally dubbed as the chosen one, and they pushed him to the moon.
This must have been during the drop because he was in Manchester on a fucking Thursday night. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah, I suppose actually, yeah. you're not top of your game when you go into Frog and Bucket on a Thursday, are you?
To be fair, I think WWE was in town. I think they were there, and it was obviously.
I should hope so.
Just chilling out, getting a flight to Manchester. Just wanted a bit of comedy, wanted to relax, just wanted to chill.
You can't get that in America. You know what
I mean? But yeah, he. That's what I mean. His work as a heel has been outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
It's been brilliant. It's been. I believe it. You watch it, and maybe it's going against Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn can sell fucking anything. He honestly, he's phenomenal. That's my word of the week. Phenomenal. And I hate AJ Styles. But his work as a face is fucking against the Judgment Day, against Drew McIntyre. No matter who he goes against, and I know they always do it in the run of play, in the way that like it's always going to be that, and we'll draw on this more later. But it's brilliant, and he makes people look bad. But so does CM Punk's a face, and CM Punk. I don't think he could ever be a heel now, ever in his history in WWE. Now, until he finishes, I don't think they can play him as a heel because people will always love him.
Yeah, I can see that, but I wouldn't ever rule out the fact that he could never be heel again. I think Punk is at his best when he is heel, and I definitely think there's a heel run to come. I wouldn't go as far to say he'll never have a heel run again, because I think they will definitely capitalize on that, because that is where Punk is at his best.
Do you know who will say that?
Go on.
This guy.
For those audio listeners, he's pointing to himself.
Oh yeah, this guy. Right. So, what do you think of the Drew McIntyre?
It was a very, very heel heavy promo. Like normally Drew can kind of teeter on the edge. This was full blown heel, like to the extent of I actually wished and prayed that you would get this injury and you would be ruled out. Like he's like, you got what's coming to you. Like full blown heel kind of thing. He's like, said I don't like you, said you're poison, said you're awful. I also hoped you'd get injured. Yeah. That night I slept like a baby. But
do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Fat Bastard in Austin Powers. I ate a baby. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, I think the dumbest part of this promo though was Punk. Well, Punk like retorted to this real heel promo and basically said, "Look, I'm injured. Might not make it to WrestleMania. I want to main event it. That's my long-term goal. It's no secret. But first thing I'm going to do when I come back is I'm coming for you." And then decided with one arm to attack Drew McIntyre. Like again, you look at the two have a face to face, but it's not. It's just Punk staring at McIntyre's chest in like. It's a mismatch if I've ever saw one. And then Punk decides to go sling arm there. Yeah. And you're just like, nah, what are you doing? And inevitably, Drew puts him down on the canvas, literally takes a sling off his arm, stamped on it a few times, punched it, something like that.
Punk took the sling off his own arm.
Oh, when he went to hit him, did he? It kind of pinged off over the top of his head, yeah.
Again.
It was dumb.
I know passion drives CM Punk a lot.
Yeah. But it must have been the adrenaline in his soul.
That must have been it. I was going to say, I've never had a torn bicep or tricep or anything like that. I fucking did it again. But a torn tricep. But I can imagine taking the sling off that's kind of holding your arm in position and then throwing a punch at a 6'5" Scottish man probably isn't the best thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if it's legit, there's no way that spot would have caused any significant or more damage to it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. So, they wouldn't have allowed that to happen if there could have been potential, repercussions or whatever, or making it worse. So that again puts that seed of doubt of, is it a work? Is it legit? Blah, blah, blah. But Sami Zayn comes out for the save because obviously they're setting up. Well, I thought they were setting up for a feud leading to Elimination Chamber, but turns out maybe not, because after that, yeah, he makes a save, and it's announced for the main event tonight of Zayn and McIntyre.
Going from there, again, so many tangents, so many different tangents I can go on. It's like a branch of just branches of trees. It's kind of solidified my theories and everything like that. Like, I do genuinely I still believe Rollins and Punk at WrestleMania. I still think it's going to happen, 100%.
Really?
I do.
That's bold.
And I don't know if I think maybe Sami and Drew will get another match at Elimination. Drew's going to get a match at Elimination Chamber. Possibly not WrestleMania. But anyway, unless you've got anything to add.
No. Like I said, those points there we'll probably touch upon as we work our way through the show. But yeah, from there, they literally went straight to Judgment Day, who were backstage watching what was going on in the ring. In there, what do you make of their little clubhouse, their little like den, or whatever you want to word it?
When it was being managed by R-Truth, when he was a clubhouse technician, it was great. I can see it falling to pieces now that he's gone. I really can.
Yeah, I like that they've kind of got their own little unique thing, but for me, I just sit and I imagine that backstage, wherever they go, it's like, right, guys, we've got to make this little den for Judgment Day. Let's get the titles on there. Let's get a skull on there. Let's get some purple lights in there. Like, I just think I appreciate the effort they're making, but what makes me laugh more is if you pan that camera to the right, you probably have Jackie Redmond stood there with a microphone, just waiting for the next bit. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes me laugh.
Two examples. Two examples. One like classic example was, do you not remember the APA? So Bradshaw and Farouk.
Yeah.
Jacqueline at one point, when they always were playing the cards, smoking the cigars, drinking the beers, and they always had their little room backstage.
Yeah.
And also, do you not remember the so many different Vince's offices? I'll come into my office, and you'd have like changing curtains just in the middle of the office, like these palm plants next to the desk, and you're like, well, that's not that's your makeshift office for today. I get that, but why is there a changing curtain in there? Because you don't do anything like that.
Let's be honest. There's just no office in the world requires that in their office. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no job title where you need that. Like, it's just dumb. It's just their little nitpicks where you can just find them and see them, and you go, well, that's stupid, isn't it?
A sexy CEO. I'm not calling Vince McMahon one. I'm just saying.
I was very curious to know where you were going with that one, to be quite honest. I mean, I reckon Vince McMahon might have had one in his office.
It's like a dressing curtain, so then you can go, oh, 1 second, Mrs. Whatever, and then you walk behind, and then you just see the shadow of you taking off a tie. And doing I think that could be a thing. I truly do.
Maybe back in the day. I don't think that would probably be a thing now. But in your Attitude Era, where they just were just a different kettle of fish, you could definitely see something like that. God, you had fucking Edge and Lita fucking in a bed in the middle of the ring. Like, you just can't do things like that in today's day and age.
Can I just say, I want to do a whole storyline on what happened with Matt Hardy, Edge and Lita, because the WWE ruined his life and then made him play it out in front of people. Like, literally, that all happened backstage. That was all real. That was all. That all happened, and they made him go, right, well, you're part of WWE. This is what the story is. So, sorry.
But don't care if it means something to you. This is what we're doing. Alrighty then. That's me told.
Another day.
Yes, another day. But so literally, it's Judgment Day. It's same old stick of, being like, you need to focus on what you need to be doing. Well, you need to focus on what you're doing. Like, all that kind of shit. Pretty self-explanatory.
Oh, mommy.
Priest and Finn bugger off towards ring. I think I liked DIY's little promo. That's kind of like their little niche of them walking to the ring backstage, saying what they've got to say, bang, straight in the curtain, music hits. Also, the worst music I've ever heard in my life. Nothing makes my skin crawl more than just hearing, we are, and you just sit there and go, what are you doing? And it's like, we are DIY. And then they come out all pumped and everyone's going, like no one's cheering. They come out to silence because everybody just hears that and just cringes their head off and hates every second of it.
I kind of like it.
No, don't do this to me.
I kind of like it. Like I don't know what it is. I just maybe it's because everyone hates it, or it's like, I don't know. I always I always do it. Like
that's absolutely fine. So I know that if me and you ever make it to a Raw or a SmackDown together, as soon as that hits, you'll be going, woo, yeah, DIY.
Also, can I ask a question? Is Johnny Gargano, is he boss-eyed?
Boss-eyed. Like he's got different pointy eyes.
Yeah.
I've no idea. I've never examined his eyes, if I'm completely honest with you.
Because the frame tonight in how they, so do you know when they do the cut shot frame of like it's Judgment Day and then it's the two Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Yeah.
They look like Judgment Priest, and then it's DIY, so it's Johnny Gargano and fucking Thingy Baldy Locks.
Ciampa.
Baldy Locks. In that one thing, he looks boss-eyed, and I was like, oh. I'll ask Kieran tonight if Johnny Gargano's boss-eyed.
Honest to God, I've never noticed. But you know what's going to happen now? Every time Johnny Gargano's there, I'm going to be staring at his eyes like, are you looking at me? Are you looking at him? I don't know.
Please, guys, don't forget to subscribe and leave in the comments if Johnny Gargano is
Yeah, to all you 10 people that viewed our last video, 8 of which was probably me, you can comment in there about whether he is or not. So that'll answer a few questions.
Hey, that was a good plug. That was a good plug.
It was a good plug. I appreciated that greatly. But yeah, I thought it was a decent match. I thought it was all right. Couple of decent spots in there. I quite liked the missed tag where literally had I think Ciampa was there and he was constantly trying to get to the tag to Gargano, and it kind of went on a bit long. Like, started quite slow. But then eventually kind of gets there to the tag. And the minute he gets there, Priest shouted the ref over for whatever reason and blah, blah, blah. Made the tag. So Ciampa kind of breaks out of the hold. In comes Gargano and the ref's like, no, you're not there. He's like, no, I made the tag. Like, it's nothing mega. Didn't influence the match at all. But it's just something a little bit different that keeps it a bit more fresh.
Well, maybe I just like DIY. Maybe I've not realised that I just like DIY because I never thought that I did. But it's like they join because it's not new or fresh because they've done it before a lot of times. But the double the double submission that they did, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good fun.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable. Do you know what? I'm going to say it was an enjoyable match. It was all right. I thought it was a bang in average match. Really,
C plus. I'd give it. Happily.
Yeah, I'd probably go a bit low. I'd probably go for a D plus, to be honest. For me personally, I think matches are helped or not helped a lot by crowd reactions. I thought the crowd was really dead tonight. They just didn't care about much. Like, there was not a lot going on in a lot of things. Like, DIY again, constantly. I mean, Gargano, there was times on the side where he's trying to pump up the crowd. No one cared. Like, he was in the ring. I think he did one of his tornado DDTs or something, and then he's on the mat, and they're kind of trying to psych themselves up and get the crowd active, and they were trying the best, but the crowd just were not interested in getting along with it.
One of the best, by the way, finishes. I love his tornado DDT. I think it's absolutely awesome. I think it's so cool. But I was gonna say, to be fair to the crowd tonight, Pat McAfee did open the show.
Yeah, well, this was it. It was But I think it was Tampa Bay, and I'm pretty sure the Rumble was in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's all done in the same weekend. It's all done.
Yeah. So I know that which tickets was I applying for now? I was trying to go to. It must have been Clash at the Castle, maybe. No, it couldn't have been. Money in the Bank, was that? Yeah, Money in the Bank was in London, wasn't it? So I was like, I was kind of nosy in at tickets and stuff like that.
So they were sold out within minutes, weren't they?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. Like, I think a minute. I genuinely think it was 60 seconds they were sold out. And the only ones that were available were ringside for like 600 quid. But my point being that they do like packages. So it's like, rather than I want one ticket to Money in the Bank, they're like, no, you can have tickets to SmackDown and Money in the Bank. Or for this case, it could have been Rumble and Raw. So I reckon you could have had a lot of the same heads going to two events. It felt like a very tired crowd where they didn't have that like adrenaline for everything that went on. They just was a bit flat. Quite early on in the match, you had Ciampa in there, and there was a bit of double team work. Finn Balor had Ciampa like over his leg, and then Priest goes off the ropes, goes down, does a leg drop, covers him, 1-2. McAfee screams out, "How did Ciampa kick out of that?" Quite easily, mate. It was a leg drop. Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you could tell it was like his first night back, because he was overselling everything. Like, I think this was still quite early on, and shortly after, he's like, "Isn't this the best wrestling you've ever seen? This is one of the greatest matches of all time." I'm like, it's not though, is it? Like, I get you trying to promote it, but come on. Like, they've not even kicked in yet.
He's just trying to get a full contract. Leave him alone.
Yeah, no, I get that. But I mean, he does a lot of work for the football, doesn't he? The American football. So that's what he does.
Go on.
Like that's what he's been doing, like doing like all your commentary and punditry for like your American football stuff. To which he did say at one point, where there was one point where he dropped it, and he literally, I can't remember how it went. There's something like, this wrestling is one of a kind. Like, he literally had to correct himself, and I just read, brilliant.
Yes, plugged it.
Yeah. Oh, I really, really enjoyed that. But
to be fair, like he was roommates with Baron Corbin, and not to quote Alicia Keys, but if Baron Corbin can make it there, then he can make it anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's
a city that nightmares are made of, so he'll nail it.
Game's the game. But yeah, literally went DIY double submission. Priest literally lifts up Ciampa, slams him down on Gargano to break the holds. You had a near fall from Ciampa following that, and literally turned into Razor's Edge from Priest, and into the coup de grace, and Judgment Day retain. And I think that was pretty expected. I don't think anybody really thought DIY were ever gonna take the titles there. But I thought it was an okay match.
It was all right. I wasn't really that much of a fan of it, but it was, well, I'll get C+, but it was more the fact that I'm more curious now what they're leading up to. Like, I don't know what the idea is, because it's like, is Priest, I imagine Priest will cash in at WrestleMania, because he's been Money in the Bank holder for quite some time, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. So, like, what direction are they going in now? Are they going to have to retain, or do you reckon they're going to lose them at Elimination Chamber? Quick thoughts.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going to go, because there's no tag titles that really stand out and scream to me, yes, you're ready to take the titles off, the belts off them. I thought they were going to do it with the Creed brothers, because the Creed brothers are superb, and they built them up, and now they're just non-existent. And it's one of those where you think,
where have they gone?
They're just not doing anything. They're on SmackDown. Are they on SmackDown?
Yeah, they're on SmackDown, but they won that championship tag team title thing for the belts, and then
they had the chance and lost, and that's it. Nothing's come from it, which is a shame, because the thing is, like, I think I mentioned it yesterday about how they did it with Carmelo, about just constantly having him building blah blah blah, and it's like Creed brothers made a nice transition, built them a little bit, pushed them to a title. Then you've got to carry it on. You've got to have something else in place, and there's not. The only time they ever appear is to stand behind Ivy Nile and go, "Yeah, you go get him, girl." Like, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get him in the ring, get him doing something. But as a nice little segue, where you say you don't really know where they're going, I can tell you exactly where they're going. Because Judgment Day then decided to cut a promo in ring. And they were stood there and they're kind of, talking about this person who they were feeling a little bit sorry for. And they just wanted to have a quick chat. R-Truth, get out of here. Get out here. So out comes R-Truth, just, not really knowing what day it is. I really appreciated the fact that during his music, with a little, what's up? All you can hear is Finn Balor on the microphone going, what's up? What's up? Really trying to get involved. I was like, God, you're kicking the shit out of him tonight because you just know you're being too nice to him.
It was brilliant. It was the whole segment was brilliant. Like the whole family. It's like just the Tom and Nick thing is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. Like, is the Finn Balor, you're like the creepy uncle that we've always no one ever wants to mention. Like,
they
JD,
like him.
They like that the guy that no one wants to admit is part of the family, but he's part of the family. And then what got me was Damian Priest when he goes, "You like my older brother?" He's like, "You're older than me."
Yeah, little bits like that. I love, like, even the fact that I think just before that, Priest was trying to talk and Truth just kept cutting him. Like, he must have cut him.
You're gonna let me finish
2 or 3 times. He's like, Truth, you gonna let anybody else speak around here? Like, and then addressed it. Like, I like little things like that for me.
And then your boy came to save him. Fazzy's main man.
This was it. Mr. Miz comes in. So obviously, lo and behold, Truth kept yapping on. They said, "You're not part of Judgment Day. I'm not going to beat you down." But lo and behold, he gets beat down. Out comes Miz for the save. Gets flattened by 4 of them. Probably not a wise move, Mike. But here we are, which makes you think where they're going to go next. And it is going to be an Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day for the titles, because you're going to have Miz and Truth.
Chamber.
Did I say Elimination Chamber?
No, but I think they'll lead up to Elimination Chamber.
That's exactly where I also think that's where it's going to end. So the next couple of weeks is going to be Miz and Truth going, yeah, let's get them. Beating JD and Dom a couple of times. They might face somebody else, but I doubt it. And that's all the build-up's going to be to Elimination Chamber. I don't think they're going to win the titles there, but I think that's the direction. Then from there, I don't think he'll cash in at WrestleMania. I don't think he's going to cash in before WrestleMania. But with Punk's injury, that, in my opinion, changes that World Heavyweight title scene. Nah. We will touch upon that later, though. I don't want to get into that yet because that conversation is definitely still to come with some superb work. But yeah, Judgment Day stand tall. And that closes the segment.
A very, very big wild card. And I'm just going to throw this out here, see what you think. Either someone in the it's going to be someone in the Judgment Day fighting someone else, or maybe the tag team champions or something like that, and then 2 masked people come out. And they've got Tom and Nick on the shirts. How's that for a wild card? Especially if it's in the tag championships.
It's a wild card, all right. But, I mean, you just never know with wrestling.
Mate, the box is here, and I'm here. That's how you're supposed to think with wrestling, mate. I think like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Still one of the most mind-blowing things that the man goes from Scooby-Doo to producing wrestling. Never in my life did I think that was a thing.
Writing for wrestling, but I'm pretty sure he might produce. Well, he used to anyway, but yeah.
Brilliant. Even so, it's bizarre. I remember you telling me that about a week ago, and my mind was blown because I would never have pictured that ever.
And he's married to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. How awesome is his life?
Are you living the dream? Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll move swiftly on for this very swift and pretty bog standard shit. Stark and Baszler, and you had Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. The highlight of that match was our girl Samantha Irvin doing Chelsea Green right and announcing her name right
properly.
I also appreciated the little and it's the Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. I love it. It is my favorite thing.
Because we spoke recently about how she stopped doing it, but she
literally last episode. Like I have about 3 sentences for this segment. I'm going to call it a segment because it wasn't even really a match. And literally, it says Baszler and Stark v. Niven and Green. Samantha Irving said Chelsea Green properly. Niven, Baszler, solid work. Green squashed. Crowd did not care one bit. That is about the summary of that match. Followed by, in brackets, 2-minute match. That did not go on any longer than 2 minutes. It was just literally Chelsea Green getting tagged in, thinking, don't really want to be tagged in here, and just got flattened. And that was the match.
The one thing that I will say that I liked about that segment, I won't say match because it might strike your fucking ire, but the one thing I loved about that segment was the fact that Chelsea Green got tagged in and then avoided like 3 moves by mistake.
Yeah, accidentally.
I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah. It's the comedy character of Chelsea Green now, where I think that they ain't getting them titles back. They've had that run. Now they're just going to get pushed right down to the bottom, unfortunately, just because of Chelsea Green. And it's a shame because Chelsea Green can actually wrestle. She can actually do a bit, but because of her character, and she is literally now a comedy character, she's going to get the comedy treatment, which is just getting fucking flattened week in, week out.
Hey, well, you know.
But good on her. She's got a job.
Hey, well, I'm just saying. It's not all gloom and doom. Charlie Chaplin was like, quite famous. Saying he was a comedy character, Kieran. Buster Keaton was also very, very famous. Comedy character. Will Ferrell.
Are they wrestlers in WWE?
Oh, fuck no. Sorry.
I'm sure I remember a Will Ferrell match.
Johnny Knoxville.
He was in a WrestleMania match against your boy, Sami Zayn. Which was an excellent match at that, to be fair. But, yeah, that was that. Next is probably my highlight of Raw. I thought this was, by a country mile, the best part of Raw.
Is it Gunther again?
It's not Gunther. It was better than Gunther. Cody Rhodes' music hits. So out comes Cody Rhodes. Literally, the wall is obviously deafening because the wall is always deafening wherever he goes. Like, it is the most over thing. Like, it's superb.
Before you go on to your notes, can I just tell you right now, I don't care for Seth Rollins. Carry on.
Yeah, I'll run through this and we'll debate that point. Yeah, he got a lot of "You Deserve It" chants, which was nice. He then gets Samantha Irvin again.
Brilliant.
Samantha Irvin getting another little feature, just going, can you just say that one more time? Announces that he's the winner of the 2023-2024 Rumble. Nice little touch. Whilst he just runs around the ring, amping everyone up on the turnbuckle, like, yeah, that's me. I'm that guy. Like, love that. Superb stuff. He literally sits there, does his usual shtick, gets a bit emotional. He's like, I really needed you guys, which I thought was hilarious. I was like, my God, he nearly cried because of a crowd. Like, what the heck? Like, honestly, I love that for all the wrong reasons. He probably thought it was effective. I just thought, you absolute wet wipe.
I can't tell you how much I needed you.
Yeah, but see, that was a more manly delivering of it. It wasn't even that. He literally cracked before that.
Anyway.
Honestly, I couldn't be arsed with it. I didn't like that. Well, no, I did, but not for its purpose.
Can I just again really quickly just throw in a quick fuck you because you love Seth Rollins. So I think
no. You let me finish, son, because I don't. But no, let me get through this, and then we're going to debate.
Now you're just starting to sound like my partner during sex.
What? No.
Let
me just get through this. But yeah, Cody does all the standard Cody stuff you get week in, week out. He's about to announce his opponent, which is basically everyone's like, he's going to say Reigns. Bang, Rollins' music hits, comes out to his whoa, yawn. Literally, then probably probably cuts his best promo that I've seen for a long, long time. I thought it was that good of the delivery and the points, even though the points are nonsense because the World Heavyweight Championship is not the most important title and it just won't be. But for a good 20 seconds, it made me think, maybe it is. But it's not. But maybe it is. But yeah, I thought it was a really good promo. I really love the fact of just giving stick to Reigns, basically. no one wanted Reigns. Last year was easy for you to choose because there was only one championship to go for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love
and
that.
being like, Reigns, he only turns up when he wants to. I'm here every week. Everybody gets opportunity. Everyone defends.
But especially when he said he went from being here every week, every other week, every week to every other week to every month to every other month, and then he went on like that. The one thing that I completely disagree with, and I know why he said it, because of obviously Dusty Rhodes and who Dusty Rhodes was. We said this is the blue collar title. It's like nothing about any of the WWE championships in present day or in the last 15, 20 years have been about blue collar work. There's not a single plumber out there in rural America or Midwestern America who's gone, oh yeah, I could do that.
I think blue collar is like the phrase of the month, because didn't Punk last week go on about his dad being like a blue collar man or something like that?
It's because blue collar's like someone who works, so it's like an electrician or a plumber.
Yeah,
or
like a trade, isn't it?
Yeah, it's trading.
Yeah.
As we call them over here. And it's because Dusty Rhodes was the tradies man, because everyone looked at Dusty, because Dusty used to, pardon the expression, dust off about fucking 20 beers a night. To be like, oh, well, that's the guy we're fighting for, because that's what wrestling used to be about. But it's not now, because it's all about, and he comes out there, and I'm not being funny, he comes out there in that purple, feathery fucking thing of a jacket that he's wearing, and he's going, this is the blue collar title. Yeah. It's like, take a look at yourself.
Yeah, you can't say that and then dress/act the way you are. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, and I agree. Like, for me personally, this Rollins character I don't like. I'm not gonna say that like Rollins sucks or anything like that. I think he's one of the top guys, but I think he's ready for a heel turn or a character change. He's ready for something. But then he has to drop the title, because I mean, I know we've spoke about this prior, and I stick with my opinion. I think he should have dropped it to Finn Balor. I think that was SummerSlam. I mean, that should have happened, and that would have just changed it. And I get trying to get a good.
Wasn't that their rematch? And it wasn't a rematch for the title, but wasn't it a rematch from a previous thing that they had, like a previous feud going on?
Yeah, that feud. I think Finn, did he have two chance? I think he had a chance before that on the belt, and then he just basically got another chance on it. But I think SummerSlam was the time to make that change, because obviously Priest was Money in the Bank holder. It then causes a bit of friction with Judgment Day. It makes all that interesting. You're putting Judgment Day at the top of the card. Put these little things in there to, keep guessing. Obviously, it weren't part of the plans. Fair enough. That's why they're earning thousands of pounds to create this stuff, and I'm not. But for me, that was it. And I find his title reign has really got stale, and he really needs to drop it.
Wait, I'm sorry. We're not. Am I not getting paid for this?
I pay you in friendship. That's the best prize you can get.
What do you think? How do you think I go?
What?
I don't want that.
If that's all it is, then sign me out.
Fuck that.
But I thought it was a really, really, really good promo from Rollins. I thought that was some of his good work, which is more serious. It's when he's doing his promos, he's kind of going.
Oh, mate, I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
He can't do it. He's not Ace Ventura. Do you know what I mean? He can't just do that random laugh and be like, when CM Punk came back and he's going, ha! It's like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just act.
I agree. And I think it's just part of that character. And yet I've seen in like interviews and stuff where he's like, I feel this is like my most natural character. Please don't let it be, because you're coming off as a bit of a dick. You know what I mean? If that's your natural character, then I prefer your other ones.
I prefer you just to act, be different.
Just be a normal human being, or just do good work. Like,
so you mean that I won't like you as a person if we ever met? Okay, fair enough then.
Right, well, there's someone I'm not meeting at Frog and Bucket Comedy Club.
Call back.
Love it. But yeah, Cody then just literally gets in his face. Well, Rollins is like, well, I'm not telling you to make a decision right now, but think about it. And Rhodes just goes,
I'll think about it.
Drops the mic.
That was the worst Rhodes has been in so long. Like, the whole segment was brilliant up until then, and then him talk to Rollins. Well, he barely spoke to Rollins. Rollins spoke to him, but he goes, I didn't even come here to think about that, but I'll tell you one thing. I'll think about it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
that's
Duh.
not even good,
Doink.
right?
Like, yeah, and that's just to just stall a little bit on him making his decision, even though everybody knows what he's doing. But fair enough, it had a purpose of, putting that bit of doubt in your mind and all that. I liked it. I thought that was the best part of the show, personally. I really, really enjoyed that promo as a whole. You then had a little backstage segment of Kofi kind of saying, New Day, we're not about pancakes and unicorns. I'm going to win the title. You're not. But that was basically what he was saying. We then had Jey Uso and Bronson Reed.
Brilliant
And
match.
I noticed for the first time, I don't know if you picked up on this, but they have like this new animation sort of thing for the fights. So they kind of have, I don't know how to best describe it. It's like, imagine like a loading screen on a game. It kind of shows someone doing a move and then someone doing like the little cheer or whatever and stuff like that. It kind of would do that with Jey Uso with a couple of little pictures, and then we go boom, and then go versus Bronson Reed and do a couple like little pictures like him. That was the first time I noticed it in the night, but they continued that throughout. So every match there was, they had these new graphics, would you call it? I liked it.
I'm pretty sure they did that before that, because they did that for. Oh no, it was after that, because they did it for Kofi and Gunter.
Yeah, Kofi Gunther did it for Sami Zayn and McIntyre, and it was just that little, again, just little tweaks here and there where they just change it, and it just. If you're a casual watching it, you're not going to really pick up on stuff like that. But if we watch it, enjoy it, and obviously now are analysing it, little things like that, I like that. I like those little touches that just keeps it a little bit fresher, something a bit different, and it looked good. It adds to it, adds to the product. Even though it's something so basic as having a couple of pictures on there, it just looks a bit fancy and it just gives it a bit more feel, But
I'll tell you this: it's a lot better than the coming to you live, sponsored by Slim Jim. Slim Jim,
yeah.
God, home.
Do you know what? I'd never heard of Slim Jims until I started watching WWE, and now I can't not hear it.
Thinking about Slim Jims.
Literally, every time there's a match, it's like sponsored by. Let me guess. Slim Jims. Slim Jims. No way. LA Knight rocks up because he's like the official sponsor now because he won one match that was sponsored by him.
Slim Jims.
Yeah. Like that. It's nuts. Like, honest to God. But yeah, I thought again, Uso and Reed. I thought that was a good match. Good, solid match. Lots of back and forth.
I don't think there was any way that Jay could have lost that match, though. Because if he did, he would have just been pushed right down by... it would have been awful.
Yeah. You knew who the winner was going to be, but I kind of... Do I think Bronson Reed is going to be a top card guy? No. But I do quite... I like him. I like what he's doing. I don't want him to just be... opponents for people to beat to kind of leapfrog higher up the card. I kind of want him to do something substantial.
It's his second time in WWE because obviously he
got fired.
Yeah.
He was part of the cuts after Vince
Did you also
mysteriously lost a load of money. Sorry, I cut you off.
Let's move on. But I had no idea he was Australian.
Yeah. You can hear it when you hear his promos. You hear the little. He tries to do the big bad aggressive voice, and then he'll just twang a little bit of Australia. You go, there he is. There's the Aussie breed.
See, man, that voice comes. See, I don't get it because that voice comes naturally to me anyway. So, fucking hell, I sound like we've got a smoker's cough.
Yeah, it's a funny one, but I do like Reed. I do think he's there's potential there. Anyway,
he's good. Him and Ibar was brilliant. They should have main evented that. Well, not main evented it. Sorry, they should have showcased that on a pay-per-view because they were really good together. They're both really athletic and they're both surprisingly different for the size that they are.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot of athleticism with Reed, but he's not like to the extent of Ivar. Ivar obviously can do the high flying stuff, whereas Reed, like if you think we've come a long way from big guy wrestling, like when you think back to the big guys, they were literally just punch. Like Big Show's finisher was a punch. Like that was it. Like you know what I mean? Like, I mean Big Show was another level, but you know what I'm saying? Like Kane was never really high flying. Like trying to think of other big guys, like Carly was never, but obviously that was again due to his size. Like, but
he literally couldn't climb up the ropes.
God, the man couldn't walk. Never mind wrestle. Like that was a travesty.
Hey, he was really good in The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler.
He was, because he wasn't wrestling. He was in a film. That's fine. I'm all right with that.
Do you know how upset I was the first time I watched that film, by the way? And I watched it and I saw that Stone Cold was the baddie, and I was like, I don't want to watch this.
I don't want to hate him.
Oh shit!
I thought it was a very good back and forth match. It was kind of mixed. You literally Reed dominated at one point, Jey Uso dominated, back forth. Again, I thought it was a very, very solid match, a decent match at that.
Any special spots? As we say, any special spots that you remember?
To be fair, there's none that stood out, if you know what I mean. There weren't anywhere I kind of thought, it's top dog. Basically, I didn't find it worthy enough to write down a note about it because I thought it was good.
You wrote 3 about Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Yeah, I wrote 3. Yeah, sentences, but that does include who was fighting. So technically, I only did 2 sentences about the actual match. Because one of them was stating who was in the match.
Great.
I mean, quite literally, one of them is who was fighting. The other is Samantha Irvin saying her name right, and the rest is saying how she is. Like that was basically that. But yeah, Jay won with he did his spear, did his splash, got the pin 1, 2, 3. Again, I thought that was pretty bang on. If you got any thoughts on that, or
I love that he's co-adopted. I mean, we can go into this another time, but I love that he's co-adopted this spear from Roman. I think that was such a clever move and good move from SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, and then SummerSlam. I think it was awesome, and that fact that it's now in his arsenal and he uses it, and every single time he uses it, everyone's like, "Oh, that's Roman's spear. That's his cousin's spear." It's like, I like that.
I agree. I think that's a really nice little touch. I love how over the most the crowd was into. Well, top was obviously Cody's woes, but Jey Uso's intro, like when he comes out, they lose their mind. Like I actually sat and analysed. He goes onto that one corner to do his little, hand thing, but everybody does it. Like when the camera pans out, you can see the people over this side, over the other side. Like everybody is joining in it, and it's so. Like, I love it. I think that's really good. Something as basic as that helps in just getting you that little bit more over. Like he's not had a match on Raw for the past 3 weeks or something like that. I don't even think he featured on 2 of those weeks, and one of them was him basically going like, "Yo, what's up, Cody?" Yeet. And that's not Cody, Kofi. But that's it. He's not done anything. But yet he still comes back after 3 weeks and he's over.
Deuces.
I hate he did it the wrong way around.
Nah.
What do you mean? But,
my bicep hurts.
Stop. But yeah, that match finished. They cut to the back. Well, actually, no. They went to the announce table and they started promoting Andrade on about his return from obviously when he returned at the Rumble on Saturday night, which was nice. Nice little package. Nice little bit of
that segment. I again.
Yeah.
I'm loving the just the whole thing between Adam Pearce and Nick Cross. I think it's awesome.
Nick Cross, Nick Aldis.
Nick Aldis.
Yeah, that's where I was leading to. Obviously. Andrade signs a contract. Nick Aldis then just rocks up and he's like, "Oh, we had a good contract for you at SmackDown." He was like, "Well, I've already signed." That's that. And then you have that, like you said, that little bit of friction between the pair of them. But again, something I was so happy about is his phone goes off, and hilariously, I looked at my phone. I'm like, I look down and I go, "That's not my phone." And just see him go, "Oh, what's just 1 minute, Pierce?" Yeah, goes in his back pocket, pulls his phone out. "Oh, it's just a Bron Breakker calling me. Bye." I was like, yes. I have got time for that.
Do you know my slagging off of Bron Breakker last week? Or my minor slagging off him? Do you know what it was? And I finally realised after watching I've been watching a lot of Attitude Era this weekend. Oh, no, this weekend, this last 2 days. Fuck me, it's been 2 days. He reminds me of Rhino.
Yeah, he does. He does have shades of Rhino. I think he's better. I think he's better than Rhino. I think he's got more to offer. He's got more potential. He's very main roster ready. He's ready to be called up. He's peaked in NXT. I think that's why you might think he's a bit stale because he's still knocking about there.
every week. It's the same. It's the same shtick, and it's the same. And that's what Rhino is. It's always about his intensity, and it's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. It's like, yeah. And then Bron Breakker, as soon as he got rid of Omos, and I rewatched the Rumble bit where he got rid of Omos. And he goes, it's like, oh, that's Rhino. That's Rhino's spear.
Yeah.
And that's Rhino's. Oh no, I get his character now.
Yeah, I could totally agree with that. I do think Bron Breakker's got a bit more to him than Rhino, but interestingly enough, this was kind of what I wanted to segue onto. I was going through the older social media, and it was
Never
to kind of
choice.
Like when we was doing our predictions, and you predicted a certain someone to return who didn't return. So I've literally screenshot it now to have a nose at it. So the Brock Lesnar update. So it's not I don't know why I said it like that. But Brock Lesnar update. This was all rumored, not confirmed, that Brock was indeed pulled from the Rumble. So he was supposed to be there. Bron Breakker took his spot in the match, and everything that you saw Bron Breakker do was what Brock was supposed to do. So Pat McAfee's spot in the Rumble was supposed to be he enters with everyone down and goes face to face with Brock and then decides to eliminate himself, which is then why I think the intertwined Omos to then have a bit more of a what's the word? Intimidating person in there.
That makes so much sense because it would have been Brock and Omos facing each other in the ring. Correct. And then Pat McAfee, and then he's literally, that makes so much sense because you can imagine Lesnar doing that because McAfee comes in and Breakker goes, "Come on, what do you want to do?" And he smiles at him, and it's Lesnar's smile.
Yeah.
It's Lesnar's smile all over, and you're like, mate, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. So this is it. So I'd say that for you because I know that you said Brock. I said no, not a cat in hell's chance. Which I mean, technically, I was still right, but for whatever reason, it did change, and you would have been right. So, game's the game. However, these last couple of bullet points that are on here, which is I can't quite believe, but apparently this is accurate. Dominic Mysterio was indeed supposed to eliminate Brock and set up a match for Elimination Chamber. Followed by Brock was also scheduled to face Gunther at WrestleMania. So I had called Gunther to face him at WrestleMania, but the fact that Dominic was supposed to get rid of Lesnar to then have a Lesnar and Dominic Mysterio match at Elimination Chamber, that you need to call NSPCC because that is cruelty. You cannot allow that to happen. Like, that is not a thing.
Well, I mean, I know it was different. Like, obviously, Eddie was a different breed. He was part of the Radicals and stuff like that, and he was built and everything like that. Dominic knows his shit. I get that, and he's brilliant now as a character that he plays and everything. But Eddie beat Brock for the title. Like, I know if you went into that match, no one would expect Dominic to win or anything like that, and he wouldn't. But to say that he couldn't have a match with him, I think he could. I think he'd get thrown around. I think he'd be because he's obviously he's been doing it since he was a kid. He's really good at in-ring technique at being the small guy.
Dom.
Yeah, Dom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing you mean the small guy is in like muscle size small.
But because
he's pretty damn tall. He ain't tall. He ain't small. He's a tall guy.
You know what I mean? The small compared to Lesnar, fucking anyone small.
Yeah. See, again, like you made the Guerrero reference there, but Guerrero was jacked and he had a gimmick of his, like, he's cheating to win and this, that, and the other. He was built like he means something.
What was his gimmick?
Dominic.
What was his entrance?
He likes to lie, cheat, and steal.
Yeah, we lie, we cheat, we steal.
But that is more plausible than Dominic Mysterio, who has no muscle mass whatsoever. He's just a gangly, nerdy school kid. Like, I have no doubt that he's talented. Like, he's obviously can wrestle, and his character is excellent. But he doesn't have a right to be in that match with Lesnar, and I would want the whole match to consist of Lesnar breaking him because that's what it should be.
Do you not remember the match? Do you not remember the match with? They've done that already with Lesnar and the one-legged kid Zach. What's he called? Zach.
Yeah. God, what I know. I know you're about.
Mom and just. Oh, it was a. They
were like, that was allowed.
They were like, "How can we make Lesnar a heel?" And this guy comes just hopping in. And he goes, guys, I've got an idea.
Vince, can you give me a chance? Yeah, I know just the guy for you.
First, let me shit in your face.
For fuck's sake. But yeah, so that was that segment. So I think that near enough announces that Braun Breaker is going to SmackDown, which I am quite happy about. I like that. I think SmackDown is the best place for NXT people to make that step because it's all there. I am very happy with that. Then cuts back to Gunther. My note consists of Gunther promo being as amazing as ever because a Gunther promo is just superb. Where I don't give a shit. I'm not. Gunther is the complete package. Gunther just literally sits there, right? Or stands there in this promo, and he just essentially says, like, you know what, Kofi, fair play to you. You want to fight me? That's absolutely fine. You are going to lose, though. I am going to beat you, and well, 10 out of 10 for effort, but that's the way it is. Good luck. Like, he says it in this cocky way where he's like, fair play to you from the balls to step up to me, but you are going to lose. I am going to defeat you with ease. Like, I love it. I love him. He is literally the best thing. Like, honestly, he is that good that he just delivers this little promo and you're just like, yeah, that's Gunther just being fucking superb. It then cuts to the next screen where it promotes it and goes, Gunther versus Kofi Kingston. Up next, my quote was, middle of Raw, ? Kofi ain't winning. Because they ain't having that title change halfway through a Monday Night Raw. Not a chance. But yeah, it then goes from there to Jackie Redmond. Did you notice Jackie Redmond's attire by any chance?
I didn't.
Oh, she looked like a school child, and I'm not entirely sure why. I didn't like it one bit. Literally, a white shirt, a striped tie with like the same pattern as trousers. She literally looked like she'd come from school. Wasn't a fan. Did not approve. Although she is lovely. She has some very lovely eyes, may I add. Just food for thought there. I know that you didn't see that segment, which is why you're awfully quiet on this.
Didn't see it.
Nah, didn't see it. Don't care. Missing out, son.
You know why? Because I grew up in the Attitude Era, and the people backstage were people like Jonathan Coachman and Michael Cole. So I just fucking skipped them.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
I get it. It's fine. You like sometimes there could be of, a benefit, but like,
and obviously, I just found out that a school child was on last, so I'm glad that I didn't watch it. Do
you know what? I'm going to find it back. I'm going to take a picture and send it to you, and then you're going to laugh because then you'll realise that was actually quite amusing of me to say that, but because you didn't, you just had no idea what my reference was. She was interviewing Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch says, yeah, it didn't work out for me. I've got a plan B. I'm going to win the title. Bye. That was that. We then had Gunther and Kofi intercontinental title match. Solid match. I thought, again, really good. Standard. Gunther's in there. It was always going to be a good match. I liked they gave Kofi a lot of offense. Kofi a lot more than I thought he would.
That's what I enjoyed about it. But my God, you just love the man. Just be, objective about one, objective about one thing, and then just call the match up. You're obsessed with Gunther. You love him so much.
I honestly, I can't. I watch it. I watch his promos. I watch his matches, and I sit there and I actually try to find something to say that was shit from Gunther. That wasn't very good. But it's just not. I can't do it. It's too difficult to find faults because he's that good. Like, he made people believe for at least 2 near falls that Kofi was going to beat him when everybody in the world knew that he was never going to lose. Tell me anyone who can do that well, consistently, match after match after match. And that wasn't even one of his best matches, yet it was still good.
Yeah, well, he did kick out the, what's it called, the Boomtown or whatever, the Boom Shadoom.
Boomtown.
It's called the Boom Boom Summit. it's called Summit. I know that.
Is that the one where he does like the front flip?
Yeah.
It's the SOS. I hear them crying.
They've changed the name now.
And I think that's still dubbed as the SOS because Trouble in Paradise is his kick.
There's something called the Boom Boom or the Boomtown or something like that.
That's the one when the guys lay on his back and he goes up to it and goes boom, boom, and then does that. He hasn't had that since the gimmick, the African gimmick from all those years ago. That move
He did
died.
that during this match, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's still not dubbed as like the boom boom drop or whatever you called it. Boom boom downtown. I don't know what name you gave it, but
the boom boom downtown is. Oh, I don't even want to suggest an idea for what that is.
I do not approve. But I tell you what they said, and it's a thing that Cole says all the time on commentary, where they're having a bit of a moment and Gunther's doing whatever, and Cole goes, "Well, Kofi's going to have to use his quickness here." Why say quickness? It's just it doesn't work. It's not real. Like every time, it's like going to use his quickness. He's got to get his quickness to get out of here. No, he'll probably use his speed or his agility. Let's use proper words rather than like quickness.
Kofi better hope he doesn't have to go in a swimming pool here.
He's going to be goosed at that point. But I think again, probably the one complaint I have of this match was they had 2 ad breaks. So during the match, they put literally, I think the first 30 seconds of the match, and they go, "Stay tuned after this break. Let's see if Kofi can get the better of Gunther." I'm like, okay, it's just began, but
sponsored by Slim Jims.
But they did the adverts right, and the one saving grace I'll give is that they kind of move it to the top corner, so they have the adverts going on, but you can still see the action of what's going on, and it's hilarious because they must get some sort of notification, or the ref must like let them know when it's an ad break, because it's just rest holds. That's all it is. Yeah. It's just like headlock.
Do you not remember?
Slim Jims
for years where they've gone, "Welcome to, thank you for joining us back," and then they say, "Thank you for joining us back," and they're just still in a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot with that when Daniel Bryan was champion as well, because that's when I kind of got back into it, and it was obviously the advertising's been going mad for the last 15, 20 years. But it was more so the last 10, 15 years that the advertising's gone like right up there.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Thank you for joining us." And every single time they'd be go, "Thank you for rejoining us here at WWE." And they'd always be looking at each other or in a corner, or they just and someone's just in a corner going, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." It's like, how long have you been doing that for?
One that was phenomenal that came out was, I'm sure it I can't remember how many years ago it was now, but they were in the UK and it was for a SmackDown, and I know that Bayley and Banks were in a tag match. It was when, oh God, could it have been like just after the pandemic era? Because I'm sure they were the tag champs. Like they had all the gold. That was their gimmick during when it was like the pandemic and stuff, where literally Bayley was like top of the game, and they were in a match, and then it went to ad breaks. But you had somebody who was in the crowd. They stopped wrestling altogether. They literally went into the corner of the ring, started having a chat with each other. Like you've literally got like Bayley, like, turnbuckle, having a chat with her opponent, like this, that, and the other. And then literally got like a, live in 10, that, and they all scuttle back to positions and stuff, and then just carry on this match. So they just spent 2.5 minutes stood there having a little chat with each other. Like if you Google it, you'll find pictures of it and videos of it and stuff like that. Like it's nuts where they literally just stopped the match entirely and probably went, right, this spot, we'll do this, we'll do that. So how's your day been? I've had a nice day. How about you? Yeah, you caught me a bit clean before, you little bitch.
Oh, you cheeky monkey. Hey. Oh shit.
Yeah. But
right.
Yeah, that was a couple of ad breaks. I wasn't too happy about that. You had a lot of Kofi momentum coming to the end of the match, which was there when you knew that the end of the match was coming.
You knew it was going to be
Yeah, like literally, he was dominating. He hit a Trouble in Paradise. Gunther rolled out the ring. Superb. Hit as near fall, as another near fall, and then literally, the minute you see Gunther hit a clothesline, you know what's happening. Clothesline, does his drop kick into the corner, powerbomb, 1, 2, 3. Gunther retains. Shock, horror.
Gunther then had the best wank of your life afterwards, didn't you?
Didn't need to, mate. I knew it was going to happen. So I just literally sat there and just was like, it's just bread and butter this for my boy, innit? My Austrian boy. But yeah, Gunther wins, walks out the ring, just being like, yeah, I'm just the best. And then in come Vinci and Kaiser. They attack Woods and Kingston in the ring. Literally kick fuck out of them, put them up floor.
Then he calls his boys back.
I literally put that. That's my favourite thing, that they were just giving him this beat down, and Gunther's like, whatever he says. Come on, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's go. They're like,
he says boys.
Like, okay.
Boys.
Does he actually say boys? Like, I couldn't remember what he said.
Boys.
Yeah, it's just the fact that he goes, right, that's enough. Come on. and they do it. Like, I like that. It just shows that fucking domination.
A shame Vinci has no personality, but yeah, other than that,
It's a real. It is a real shame. That is the letdown of Imperium because Vinci can wrestle. Vinci's really technically he's superb.
probably better
Because
than
he has.
Kaiser.
I think he actually is like on a technicality sort of stage. Like when he goes, like he's fucking superb. But because there's no character there, nobody cares. Like Kaiser has that character. He has that uniqueness, and that gives him that little bit more interest. Vinci just does not have that, unfortunately. We then go back to a backstage segment. Zayn's there, just basically saying that Drew doesn't own responsibility to anything. He's a little bitch, and he's gonna give him a reality check. Bears, that's that promo. Good promo because it's Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn always delivers a good promo. But that's your gist of your content. Zayn, yeah, superb. We will go into a Sami Zayn conversation very, very soon. You have Kabuki Warriors and against Tegan Nox and Natalya. Meh. 5-minute match. This is for a title match as well, to be fair.
Tegan Nox is getting better.
Yeah.
But again, it was always going to be that the Kabuki Warriors retain. It was always going to be.
Yeah, they were never dropping them, unfortunately. Like I don't know when they'll drop those titles, to be honest. I'm hoping there'll be some sort of decent team for them to face because they are trying their best with the women's division. I know we had this discussion previously about them. They are trying to make an effort with the tag division more so. I think the women's division as a whole is pretty.
The women's division is fantastic,
solid.
especially with single.
I think that's good. It's the tags where it really is struggling. I mean, they just need proper teams that people care about. Like I know I mentioned it in the past was the Iconics. I don't know if you ever saw the Iconics. They were excellent. Not the greatest of wrestlers, but their promo work was second to none. And they were a team. They didn't fight individually. They weren't two wrestlers just thrown together. Through NXT, they were a tag team. Into the main roster, they were a tag team. That's what you need. You know, like when you look at some of the best tag teams that there has ever been, they were a team.
Yeah.
You know, let's we could talk for hours about that, but you know my point. So that's a shame. The turning point in that match was Tegan Nox. Natalya was on top, dominating, was saying, going for the tag in, come on, blah, blah, blah. Nox kind of looks at her and just went, nah, fuck that. I'm going for Kairi Sane on the side.
She missed.
Zayn hit her.
And then,
Kairi Sane, sorry. And then Natalya gets involved. That's where your end comes. So that was your turning point. So that kind of plants a little bit more doubt in that team that's only been around for 2 months that they're going to split. Brill. Obviously, Kabuki Warriors are in the ring. Bayley then comes out because it had been promoted throughout the night that Bayley was there.
This was a brilliant promo. This was a really good promo.
Yeah, go on, you go, mate. You go.
I loved everything about it. It was just it was more so the ending than anything. Obviously, it was Rhea coming out and then saying like just giving grief, and then Nia Jax coming out halfway through, Rhea talking, beating the crap out of her because Nia Jax is, I think technically, what's the word you'd call? I think the word in the UK is used is a man. I think that's what you'd call her.
No, that's Becky Lynch.
That she's the man.
Well,
you got to think about these things.
Yeah.
Nia Jax is just a dude. Just a fella, a chap.
I'm sure she could be Bronson Reed with makeup.
But that again, camera work, which we touched on last time, was phenomenal. When she said you can have Io Sky, but Rhea Ripley's mine, and obviously it's like if you're approached, if you start seeing someone in a I'm gonna go back 10 years now, but if you're in a club and you see someone and you're like, oh, you start dancing, and a big dude comes over to you and goes, listen, not happening. Stop looking at her because she doesn't know anything about it. She's like, she's mine. She doesn't even know this guy
she's
either.
Just dancing away on the dance floor, living her best life. You know,
she's mine. And it's like, okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
Best. Again, to that, what I really appreciated, only something small, was watching Bayley slide down the turnbuckle.
Brilliant.
As Nia Jax is approaching her.
Is awesome. She's always been that good.
Yeah, she's super. Yeah, she is super.
Acting, and she's one of the not acting, but she's one of the best at promos in general.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. She's fantastic.
And that cut from her talking to her, and you had Nia Jax facing Bayley doing this in the corner, and then you had Nia Jax looking like a little petulant child, like no, not even like a scared child, like with her title, looking up at Bayley and then look away. And that was
Io
basically
Sky.
Io Sky.
Yeah, because I think again that was superb on that was she went, you could go for Io Sky, and like you said, she was like, she kind of went, she kind of did a little no like that, and then kind of cowered again. Like I like that. Again, it's good. It's good. It puts over Nia Jax even more. I'm not Nia Jax's biggest fan, but I like what they're doing with her. I appreciate that they're trying to build her up as, you know,
keep her in
a serious threat.
Keep her in the women's division.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they can keep her in the division, but
area and have a fight polar bears.
This is it. That's probably how she'll retire, to be honest. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the most 100% confirmed thing to happen at Elimination Chamber, where it's going to be Ripley and Nia Jax. I think that is set in stone. I mean, that's probably the first the first big match. I mean, obviously Ripley, it's in Australia, so Ripley's in a hometown, so it's going to go off for Ripley. Not only is it Ripley's hometown, people love Ripley anyway. She's going to be so over there, like, because of where it is. And who could she go against? No, we won't do Becky Lynch because they might like Becky Lynch. Oh, we'll go for Nia Jax, who everybody fucking hates. So it's going to go off. I'm not saying it's going to be Punk and Cena levels in Chicago, but it's going to be good. Just for the reactions, it's going to be good.
You've got to put it where it is, and it could be. I'm saying, like, because obviously the reactions were Punk and everyone hating Cena because he's Cena. It's
still one of my favorite entrances. I frequently go back and watch the entrances.
Do you not remember the ECW, the one night only, when it was Rob Van Dam against John Cena?
I mean, I never watched it live. I have watched it since by looking online and stuff like that.
Saying Cena wins, we riot.
We riot, yeah.
They were like, they would have done. It wasn't like a WWE arena like CM Punk in Chicago. It was nothing like that. It was this tiny little. You could see everyone in the top tiers and everything, and it was. This is back when ECW had like Sabu, who used to just hurt himself for fun, like. Anyway, on to the main card because I need to eat my tea soon.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, but then I also just as a side note here, I put down on my notes. Just when they get into the curtain of obviously the main event with Zayn and McIntyre, Drew says Zayn has never beaten him. ... Zayn's gonna win. So I was adamant. As soon as you said that, I went, "You dick." Especially what we spoke about the other day. I was like, "You've killed that." I also noted that Drew McIntyre, no one knows how to react. Still, they don't know whether to cheer him, they don't know whether to boo him, so they were just silent. Like, he came out, and it was so awkward. Like, you could even hear the pyro going off. Like, when he did his, like, boom, and he went... You could hear, like, the smoke settling and stuff like this because no one did anything. It was weird. Really weird. For someone as big as Drew as well.
I read a good comment, which was, here we go again, Drew winning yet another unimportant match. And I thought, bang on.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Yeah. That was it. I mean, like I said, from that comment, I was pretty adamant that Zayn was going to win. Don't by an upset, like something happens and Zayn wins. Like I don't even know what. Like Drew hurts his foot and then Zayn goes after him, like McIntyre did to Zayn, if you know what I mean, for something like that. But as we'll eventually find out, I will be wrong. Again, solid match, but it's. I think I thought this whilst I was watching it. If I was to show anybody, this is why I watch wrestling, for the wrestling. I would choose that match. I would say it shows people because it showcases everything. Because Zayn is the complete package. McIntyre is superb. You are getting good quality wrestling watching those two guys in the ring. Like, it goes without saying.
Which is why I like, again, we can't compliment Triple H enough about the creative, because he's keeping all the. Like Sami Zayn, if Vinny was still in charge, Sami Zayn would be down. He would.
Yeah, but he was. When Vinny was in charge, he was non-existent. Like, he only accidentally inserted himself into the Bloodline story, and then Vince was kind of like, that's funny, we'll keep him there. Like, didn't do anything of significance. Then they made that change, and then, literally, you then had Triple H be like, no, we've struck gold here. Now we're going to build on that. And that's when you had Sami Zayn's rise. Like, and that's what made probably one of the best stories of all time. Like that whole saga, it's in the top 3 without a shadow of a doubt. But
no, yeah, it was a standard match. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. It was just there was nothing. I like the bit where he couldn't lift him and they pulled for the blue bomber or whatever it's called.
Blue Thunder Bomb. I love that move.
When he gets him in the corner for the hell of a kick.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to say it like Michael Cole. I refuse to say helluva. I'm just going to say hell of a kick because it's a hell of a kick, and it's a helluva kick. It's like it's not though, is it? It's they're not words.
Yeah, it's just what it's called, isn't it? Just the helluva. But I also in that match, just for one particular spot that I very much enjoyed, was Sami Zayn doing the walk the ropes. It reminded me to flashback Undertaker, and I will always forever enjoy wrestlers that walk the ropes. I love that sort of spot, like walk the ropes into a tornado DDT, which you referenced earlier about how you much love that. It was such a smooth transition as well. Really, I just wanted to kind of mention that one spot because I really enjoyed the walk the ropes. If anyone does it,
what you always forget about that these guys, like especially Drew McIntyre, is like what he's 6'2", 6'3", something like that. Sami Zayn's close to 6 feet. And you think the guy, like, they don't look that big on screen, and you think what it must be like to flip around a guy. Like it's easy if you're not easy, but it's a lot easier if you're Rey Mysterio size and you're smaller than them, and you can But if it's two big guys doing these moves, like we said about Ivar before and Bronson Reed, two big guys doing these moves, it's not a small feat. The athleticism's so much better now than it was 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. It's insane because they train. They're basically bred to be like, I mean, not bred, but like, it's like I always say about Ronaldo. Ronaldo was brought up with football and he's made himself be the perfect footballer. Whereas people like you'd class as a Ronaldo back in the day, like Cantona, Beckham, everyone used to go out drinking, everyone used to go out, I know they had the discipline and stuff like that. But they always used to do things like that. Whereas now wrestlers are predominantly like, if they want to wrestle, they want to know they want to be in main event of WrestleMania. They want to know they want to be in top tier standard, which is WWE. Yeah. They will do everything to keep themselves right, like throughout all aspects of their life. Not like Hulk Hogan, not like Andre the Giant. They will do everything. If they've not got a gimmick, they'll have to make one for themselves. But they need their body to be in top-notch physical condition.
1,000,000%, like absolutely back that. Like you said, like literally from 10, 20, 30 years ago, the industry's changed so much more. So like you look back at, like you said, even like using them comparisons that you're saying, those wrestlers, like even a Hulk Hogan was as well, basically was as big a success as he was because he had character. No one else really had that kind of character, that sort of star power. People had characters, you know what I mean? Like you think like even like what? Roddy Piper, for example, he had a very strong character.
Roddy Piper was the best.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he had character. Whereas you had Andre the Giant, and it's like, no, he's just big. Like he's just size. Big, yeah, he's big. There's nothing else there. He's just big. Like and that's where they start to speak.
He was good at doing certain moves, but he could barely speak. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He used to drink 50 beers a night.
No, this is it. Like, but it's just how the standard has changed. Like now, you look at any upcomer. Like, there's just certain boxes every single person has to tick to be in that caliber because the bar is forever being raised.
Which is why I defend you in saying stuff about almost, because that just shit doesn't cut anymore. No, it just doesn't fly.
Literally. There you go. To go full circle. That says it all. Literally, that's where we're at. Like, you've got to have the moveset and the skills predominantly because that is what it's all about. You've then got to have your promo ability to have a bit of, audience interest or, to gain popularity and stuff like that. I mean, they're your two biggest components. If you're lacking in one of them, you're going to struggle. If you're lacking in both of them, you shouldn't be there. And that is almost like he doesn't have either, So how is he ever going to, well, he's not going to succeed. He's just going to disappear until next year's Rumble and then pop out again.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just threw him in NXT, which I know NXT's a lot more developmental, but just threw him in as just a random heel with no storyline, just to fuck up certain people's storylines, just to throw him in as an ad character because they can give him a steady check and then they could just say, do this. You're no, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to panic. Don't worry about it. Like he panics anyway. Doesn't he's too big to panic. He just doesn't care.
Giants don't have feelings. They can't do that. But yeah, I don't think WWE's for him. I think he needs to go to a TNA or something like that. Just go and rebuild, go and start somewhere else, and potentially come back. But I don't think there's a place for him in WWE. He's just that style of wrestling and all that. It's just dead for, and you just can't do that. It don't work.
He's too big for feelings.
He's that mature. He's that mature. Yeah, you can. I literally said that Giants don't have feelings, so we're on the same page here, aren't we? Really?
So how did Matt get here? And tell me.
Yeah. So I also put in a little two white noises. There was a white noise off the turnbuckle in the Ciampa match, and there was another white noise from the turnbuckle in the Drew match. I was like, two white noises in one night, and no Sheamus. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, I enjoyed Drew's because obviously it was Drew, and Drew and Sheamus had the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that one. Ciampa's was good. I mean, it was, but there was no real reason that he had to do it other than just taking a move. But obviously, you're getting so far with moves now, you've got to take everyone else.
Yeah, but that's it.
I enjoyed Drew's, and I thought that was good on Sammy. And Sammy just sells everything. Sammy's just a world-class fucking wrestler. He's just, as a performer, he's brilliant. He just sells everything he's given.
Yeah, like I think Sami Zayn is probably one of the guys I am so happy that he is actually at the top of the card now, because technically he is top tier. Like he is technically superb. He knows it in and out. His promo work is superb. I want him to be world heavyweight champion at some point this year. I think that is the least he deserves. If he goes through his career and doesn't have a top title, I think that is a crime, because he absolutely deserves that time and that recognition to be the guy. Definitely.
Are you going to have time to support Sami Zayn with all this sucking off Gunther that you're doing? Or is it...
Sorry, I was just thinking about Gunther, that's all. No, I'm not biased. I just appreciate greatness when it's there, and that is Gunther. Gay. Yeah, I don't think we can make gay references.
Leave that in there, though.
I mean, it's great. It's great on that 120 megapixel camera that you're using here. Listen, you can't all be 1080p, you know what I mean?
Can't, mate. Can't do it. Right, so how did the match end really quickly? Because I still want my TNA.
I know. We're literally there. So, yeah, the finish of the match was good. Literally having Drew McIntyre just sit in the middle of the ring, talking trash to Zayn. So literally giving him shit, being like, listen, you can't take on Drew. You're not good enough to beat me. Blah, 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 blah.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, literally giving it all that. Zayn gets his momentum, gets hot, gets a load of moves in. All the crowd's behind him. Everything's all good. Haluva kick in the corner for McIntyre. You think, well, personally, I thought this is going to be the finish. This is it now. He's going to beat him. Because obviously I thought he was going to win because of what he said prior. To which you just hear Cole being like, oh, no. I'm like, what? And you look at Drew and he's in the corner and he kind of just peeks up like this. And he's like, oh, no, you get him a low blow. And Drew's just like, yeah. You see that smile kind of emerge. He's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking punish him now. So
it was... I'll give him that. It was a fantastic Claymore, because he was so low down, because he was getting up from a low blow, and he was so low down that the Claymore looked like it was proper effective, and it looked like it proper connected. Some of the Claymores are a bit boring because obviously he's got to climb. His feet have got to get 6 feet up in the air, but because Sami Zayn was so far down, he didn't have to jump as much, so the momentum looked a lot better.
Yeah, I agree, because I think also from that, because Zayn's crouched down, it gives him more movement backwards to show an effect. Yeah. And Drew can get there, and his extension with Zayn's reaction will look more effective because it's happening from a lower thing. I know exactly what you're saying. When he does like one on like Reigns, for example, he has to be all the way up here, and you can see that he can just make no contact whatsoever at times when he does it. You know. Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought it was a clever little finish. To kind of, it's a different way to have him lose, where he actually wins by accidentally lowblowing someone, whereas Zayn's going to go, you lowblowed me on purpose. And he'll go, no, I didn't. I didn't do it on purpose. I covered up because you were going to hit me. Like, and it keeps tying in with McIntyre where he keeps saying, like, I'm telling the truth. That's all I'm doing. There's no part of me that's making anything up. I'm giving you facts here of what's happening.
Quick thing. Do you know how the Claymore was originated?
No.
He tripped.
What do you mean?
Drew McIntyre was going for a different move, and he tripped. And the only way he could save it was lift his legs up, and he kicked someone who was against the match, and then that's how the move originated.
No way. That's fucking hilarious. Imagine making up your finisher by accident.
Complete by accident.
I appreciate why he did that. And he went, I bet that looks fucking good.
That motherfucking sold.
I think I've hit home with that one. But yeah, and then Raw closes out to, Sami Zayn losing yet again to Drew McIntyre. So McIntyre's momentum continues. Where does he go next? You can really only see him going for that World Heavyweight Championship against Seth.
He's got to elimination.
With Punk being out, I think that is, I wouldn't say it's a guarantee, but I find it difficult to look at anything apart from that. They may continue with this Zayn feud and save that for WrestleMania. I don't know, but I feel that's where the end goal is going to be. I will see. There's got to be a McIntyre and Rollins match between either at WrestleMania or prior to Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania.
Well, McIntyre's not going to get Reigns, and if he does, it'll be at Elimination Chamber, and he won't win.
It won't make sense. Different brands. The feud's not there. I'd be amazed if he's going to go for Reigns.
So it's got to be Rollins.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that's where he's building. I hope he wins. I hope he beats Rollins. Because, like I said earlier, I want Rollins to drop that title.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't like this. Pete.
Because you love Rollins.
I've specified earlier that I don't.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but you're fucking obsessed with him.
Oh, shut your goddamn... Right.
You're forgetting that I've seen your bedroom. It's got Seth Rollins posters everywhere.
It's not. They're Gunther posters. All right. I have one just above my bed of Luke Kaiser like this. And actually, I've got one where if you move your head really quick, you can see him do this movement. So... But yeah, that...
Back, didn't it?
Pardon?
But that set you back, didn't it?
No, it's not.
A room in a house.
What do you mean? Right, that's all we've got time for, guys. We have successfully wrapped up Raw, and that is the end of our second podcast. So we are now well and truly underway now. Got the ball rolling. I think we're probably going to be back Saturday. Hopefully Saturday to review, obviously, Friday night's SmackDown. Maybe might squeeze some content in between then. I'm not sure because I've got a busy couple of days. But I will see if we can do something. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably not going to edit this and put this out until tomorrow when I finish. So it'll be tomorrow afternoon/evening by the time this comes out.
But when people are watching this, they'll think, oh, I've just watched it all. Do I have to watch it all again tomorrow?
Yes, you do, because we need views and likes and subscribes. So do that, please. But yeah, all the good stuff. If you've got this far and you've watched it all, then I very much appreciated it. We have very much appreciated it. So you got to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, just to help promote our podcast. But yeah, any final words, pal, before we sign off?
DTA, don't trust anyone. Stone Cold forever. Fuck Gunther.
Right, well, we are cutting that because I'm not having that in my podcast. You do not talk about the Ring General. I like that.
I think you're forgetting about the original Ring Master General.
Well, don't care, do I?
Clearly not.
Yeah, right, okay. Gunther's great. Gunther is life, I say. But yeah. Right, wrapping up, signing off. Peace out.